I mean, Anthony, your mic's unmuted. Do you want to say what the rating is?
I'll let you do the honors.
It's PG, because fuck it. Good evening, everybody. On tonight's show, of course, it's going to be our fuck it show, as say the last thing. Pretty much all of us are just tired of things that are going on, just exhausted. So it's going to be a fuck it show, but ultimately it's your show. So if you want to talk about something, that's what we're here for. Other than that, we're just going to probably bitch and gripe most of the show, because that's what we do sometimes. We're definitely going to talk about Rude Awakening and some stuff in the future. So are you guys ready to do this?
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Why not? All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Sunday Open Forum episode of Your Shoulder Voice. We're glad to have you here. Those that don't know me, I am Keith, of course. Tonight's topic is really whatever you want it to be. If you got something on your mind, something going on, let us know. We'd love to talk about it. If there's any topic you want to hear us discuss, that's fine, too. We kind of decided this is going to be one of our fuck it shows. We don't really care because we're all tired of shit. So why don't I bring in the people that are tired of shit as well? And here's our panel. All right, our panelists are Anthony and Gabriel. All right, so how you guys doing?
Fuck it. Living the dream.
It is. I mean, everybody's gone through this. If you're out there in the chat, you just have some of those weeks that you've been like, I'm just tired of it all. Things aren't going well. All you want to do is sit and sleep for a long time. That's what I think a lot of us are right now. I mean, not permanently. I'm not that bad right now, but I definitely want to take a break from everything going on.
Sure.
So, Anthony, Gabe, how you doing?
Good.
Anthony, how about you?
Living the dream, bud.
All right. So thank you for joining us here at Your Shoulder Voice. That was our episode. We will see you all again on Wednesday. What happened? Yeah. So we were going to talk about a few things, I think, periodically, but let's go with the fucking aspect. What has been going on? I mean, why are you fed up, Anthony?
Well, I'm stuck in Canada.
Still. You're getting out of there soon, though.
I am, for now. I come home Thursday for the holiday weekend, and then I'm supposed to be home all of July. But who knows? That could change within a day, 2 days.
No.
3 days.
No, just come home, and if they call and tell you to go back,
well,
you know what you're supposed to say?
Hence where I say fuck it. Because
exactly.
I got shit I got to do at home. So
that's right. You got to. What about you, Gabe? You've had quite the experience lately. You said it's kind of a fuck it show for you too. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, starting with the Rude Awakenings. So
you mentioned that.
So basically, I want to say it was like Tuesday of last week. Wake up at 4:30 in the morning to pounding on my door.
Okay.
And so I run downstairs. And I was like, who is that? So I run downstairs and I see lights and I see fire truck and I live in condos and I'm like, holy shit, one of the units is on fire. You know, like where they're evacuating everybody, something like that.
In the condo, your condo?
Right. We live in like a square court of a string of townhouses. So firefighters like, is that your car? Someone, it's our parking rows, and someone started my neighbor's car on fire. Someone started her car on fire. Yes. And I was parked right next to it. So it scorched my SUV, which is fantastic. Hers is totaled. And it was definitely arson because the week prior to it, someone came and bashed all of her windows in on her car. She took them in and got them repaired and had just gotten them repaired. And now they torched the entire vehicle.
So what's happening with your car?
So my car is in the shop right now. I have 2 cars in the shop right now. So
how many cars do you have total? Are you without a car?
2 cars, right? Yeah. Well, we have a rental. So
Joe's here says a broom. I don't know what the fuck that means, but you know what? Fuck it.
Fuck it.
All right. So when Joe's just joining us right now, that's going to be the answer to a lot of things. It's a fuck it show because we're just talk about things you're just tired of. That's what we're looking for tonight.
Yeah.
Or if you got something else on your mind, we're here for it. Go ahead, Gabe.
Indeed. So, yeah, it's in. Insurance is going to cover it, but I'm still paying a deductible for something that I had nothing to do with.
Why are you paying a deductible on that?
And that's sort of the thing. It's like I could go through, start a battle with her about doing that on her insurance and things like that. But we just chose not to.
All right. Well, we got Elena here. Elena says, sorry, she's not there. She threw her neck and she's half paralyzed.
Oh, no.
I'm really sorry to hear about that. But, you could just...
I've been there.
You could jump half of yourself on here. Fuck it. Why not? But I understand. I hope you feel better, Elena. We like having you on here. Did you do it by chance when you were yelling at Anthony on Wednesday? I'm just curious. Because that'll definitely do it. You get that neck flaring out of that anger and everything. Joe's here says, what's the subject today? Well, the subject, Joe, is fuck it.
Fuck it.
Yep, that's pretty much what it is. Things you're tired of, things you just can't get over. There's not really a topic today. That's just how we're all doing it. Because it's been a weird week for everybody. Mm-hmm. It's been a weird couple weeks for some of us. And like I say, I'm just tired of everything too.
Yeah.
But it's going to get better. It's got to get better. Maybe it's just, getting out and everybody wants, everything to be better from COVID and everything because things are opening up. And so everything that goes wrong feels all that worse. Like it's another blockade from you getting to enjoy life.
Well, everything comes in, unfortunately, it comes in large amounts of shit. A lot of times it's not just one thing. For so many people, it just piles up and piles up and piles up. And,
yeah.
And you get to that point, where it's like your car starts on fire, you can't get your money out of the bank, and then you stub your toe, and it's just like, fuck it.
Exactly. I get that. Elena says, nope, her 115-pound dog jumped on me this morning. My fucking dog pierced my nutsack.
Oh!
Yeah.
When?
That mother puss bucket. Well, those that don't know, when I'm around my house, of course, I'm alone, so sometimes I'm not wearing anything. So, the flaps are just sitting there on the couch. So my dog jumps up on me and decides he's suddenly going to get off. Back paw lands directly on it, nail in it, and I can't get him off for the life of me.
When did this happen? I am
pushing and everything. This just happened a couple days ago.
Good God.
No wonder why you're saying fuck it, dude.
Yeah.
It's not been a good week. Finally got him off. I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like bleeding. I'm like, oh, you fucking dog right now. Thank God he hit the skin, and not the other, So I guess there's a boy. Yeah, that would have been really bad. He thinks he's a little tiny dog. He's not. Sorry about your dog, Elena. And Joseph says, okay, I'm going to say fuck it because of my son's lies and the bullshit that came about it. I agree.
Fuck it.
And follows with fucking, I'm going to find me a home. I'm sorry. Like I say, anything goes on this show, and maybe that's the answer, honestly. But I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to bring up a whole lot more problems with those.
Got to be careful with them hosts.
Yes, got to be careful with that. Sorry about your son. What's going on with that right now? Feel free to tell us. All right. So this is our fucking show. Anything exciting happen? Hey, let's bring up some TV for a change.
Let's do that.
Anybody watched Cruel Summer?
No.
Anthony's muted.
I've never even heard of it.
Cruel Summer just finished. It was an amazing freaking show. It had an ending that just...
What is it about?
It's simple. It's a girl who disappears, ends up kind of being kidnapped, and another loser girl kind of takes over her life. Doesn't become her, but takes her place because she's missing. And it opens up good. It's a little slow at the start, and it just keeps going, and you are so into it. And it ends beautifully, like the perfect ending you could think of. And right at the end, it gives you something else. You're like, no fucking way. It's just a great show, and I guess it's the most watched show currently.
Really?
Yeah. I picked it up, and I halfway through the season, I started watching it. I'm like, this is a good show, and it just ended last week. I'm like, if you want something to watch that it's a drama kind of thriller type deal, it's
so is it just a limited series?
No, there's a second season, but don't know if it's going to follow the same story. It's probably going to be a different, like, anthology type.
Gotcha.
Loki's pretty fun.
I haven't watched beyond the first episode right now.
It's
getting good. Yeah.
Do it.
About to pull over. I would like to join Summer. Just you probably text to talk. Yeah, definitely pull over if you're doing that. Yeah.
I thought we had this conversation once before.
But he does. He doesn't listen. But you know what? We told him exactly what to do, and you know what he said?
Fuck it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say fuck it and make some coffee. So I'll be back in.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
I can still hear you.
You know what? I did start watching. Was C, one with Momoa, Jason Momoa. It's on Apple.
Oh, is that on Apple? Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Apple. It's filmed, or it's not filmed, but it's set. Takes place like 1,000 years in the future or something like that, and basically civilization has ended, and all of the people that have been born without sight.
Oh, interesting.
So,
I did hear about. I never saw that show.
So it's sort of at that point, sight is almost a myth or something. Witchcraft almost.
That was the flagship show for Apple TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, season 2 is supposed to come out.
Yeah, I remember it now.
Pretty soon, and it's supposed to have Batista in it. So.
Anybody out there? My dogs. Okay. Not today. Anybody got anything else going on you want to talk about? Please let us know. We're waiting on Joe. He's going to comment back to what's going on in his life. Feel free. That's what we're here for. So yeah.
I love when you just mute it and start screaming.
Yeah.
It's those little moments. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of my god. Not this bad. You know what they said? Wait, Keith said, "Fuck it, we can do whatever we want."
That's exactly what happened.
They said, "Fuck it."
I mean, like the other dogs right here, not even
they said,
barking for the hell of it.
Is she gonna go potty?
No, she doesn't. She just went.
Does she want to go swimming?
Probably. Come here.
He's like, "Rocket,
rocket, rocket, right rocks." Okay.
Rocket wreath.
Rock you, Keith. Oh my god. Okay, so what else is going on?
Dogs.
Do you get those?
That's what's going on currently.
Yeah, dogs. Oh, when I come home, I'm going to be the biggest lightweight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad.
Well, you haven't been drinking at all or anything.
I've had 3 beers since. When the fuck did I get here? I've been here for fucking 3 weeks now.
3 weeks? You think?
Yeah.
You think it's going to affect that much?
Well, you got to realize that he was in the bar 3 times a week typically.
Oh, don't make me seem like that. It was more like 4 or 5, but okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you such light.
But you were working.
No, I mean
you were working.
Well,
right?
I mean, I wasn't going excessively with drinking.
No, but I mean, you had something, so your tolerance kept.
Yeah. Yeah, my tolerance was pretty much stable, and now I've gone 3 weeks with not drinking any alcohol.
Feel free to jump on, go to our website, yourshouldervoice.com, and just click the join link. If you hear a dog barking, you're in the right place.
Yep.
She's a fucking whiner. I swear, this dog whines about fucking everything.
Yeah.
Husky?
Yep, Husky Shepherd. That's all she does.
Yep. I had one.
Oh, that's like double trouble because my shepherd talks and whines and all of that, and huskies are known for that too. Oh yeah. Shenzi.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
she's a pretty one though.
She is. You a pretty girl. Yeah, you are. And she's shutting up as long as I'm touching her, like most women I've dated.
I had a Siberian. I don't know if I brought this up before. I had a Siberian husky when I was a kid, and he tore up the laundry room and he disappeared, and I asked my mom. My mom said that they had to donate him to the Leader Dogs for the Blind. And at this point he was like 4 years old. So I watched a documentary about that recently, and it's like, no, that's not how it works. You got to get them as a
Yeah.
puppy. So there's a lie there, and I'll never know.
Don't they have these like friends or anything that all they seem to do is lie, like every word that comes out of their mouth?
Yeah, but I'm not friends with them anymore.
Oh, good. We can talk about them then.
Yeah.
So what was yours like? Or one of them?
My relationship?
Yeah, why not?
It was just a lot of drama. I was always the one that was trying to bring everybody back to reality or the designated driver or something like that, because everybody didn't give a fuck. So it was just a matter of if we're going to get home, one of us needs to give a shit. And it was always me. So
this was before you hit the fuck it point.
No, yeah. I just said fuck it with alcohol because I'm not a huge drinker or any of that shit anyway either.
Fair.
So, but yeah, and just a lot of drama that sort of came with that, so.
What do you think promotes people to tell like these little white lies and stuff that are always said? That no matter what it is, they either have to be a part of it, or if you tell a story, it obviously happened to them somehow, some way before, and they can turn everything back around to you or to them.
Well, there's
attention.
Right. There's a lot of different types. You have your one-uppers. It's all for either insecurity or attention, and it's either you have your one-uppers that, you'll say something, and they wait for you to finish so they can try to one-up you on how bad their day was. It's been made into Saturday Night Live skits at this point. It's like, oh, well, my dog died. It's like, oh, yeah, both of my dogs died. And
right, no matter what, it's always something bigger.
It's always to change the focus on them.
Yeah,
and then
you have good, bad, or the other.
Right. And then you have people that just don't listen. They're just waiting for you to stop talking so that they can start.
That's part of it. I deal with that. I never understood the pointless lies that just wouldn't matter. Like, right. Somebody says, I went to work today, and they didn't. But you've never contacted, you're not going in their house to their house. There's nothing. I mean, that was just a silly example, but there's a lot of people that do stuff like that. They're pointless lies that would not change anything one way or another. Mm-hmm. But they constantly tell them. I always wonder what runs through people's minds when that happens. Obviously, you don't know because you're not one of the people that do it, I don't think.
At that point, it's muscle memory, right?
Yeah. I get that. And I think sometimes it's also, in a sense, it is a one-up thing. It's like with the work one, people want you to believe they work way more than they do. They want you to believe that things are so hard and stressful. They never want to admit that they have time for themselves or a day off. All right, I believe we have Joe here. Joe, I'm glad you pulled over for this.
Hey, Joe.
Hello, sir.
Hey, I don't talk while I'm driving. I listen to the show.
That's good.
No, you just text, so that's fine. Okay.
But he could be hitting that button there to dictate.
We appreciate that. So what's going on, Joe?
Right. Pretty much I'm going to say fuck because my son wants to lie about everything that he's been doing lately. And he decided to fly some girl out that he's been talking to for a little while because apparently she was being abused or something. Well, I'm at my aunt's house this morning cleaning out her basement from the flood. And 4:30 this morning, we get a call from his adopted parents that the Detroit police are looking for him because apparently this girl was a runaway. And
how old was this girl?
17.
And your son?
Yes, he's 18.
18. Yeah, that's bad. That's that one like pathetic border year.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Runaway. I mean, that's 17. Yeah, but
that's that 1 year they want to claim in the Romeo and Juliet law or whatever that stupid thing is.
Well, it depends. I guess it depends on what state you're in. It's different states have different laws against that, as well as the age.
Yeah, apparently in Maryland, it's 18 because her parents filed her as a runaway, Got
So
all
she's
her
from
messages
Maryland.
off of her. Yes, she's from Maryland. But
how did
her
they
parents got all
like?
her
Did she run away and went all the way to your son's?
Right. Yes.
Oh wow. Well,
Yeah, she ran away here to Michigan.
Wow.
Okay.
And then the Maryland police came out, talked to the Troy Police Department because that was the last known address for my son, and everybody.
How'd your son? Oh, you might have frozen. Well, if you did reconnect, but my question to you is, how did your son react to all this? Have you talked to him, found out since? Elena's here. We'll wait to see if Joe one freezes. Says she used to be friends with a pathological liar. It was awful. And that's what it is. The pathological liars I don't get, because most of the lies they tell are just pointless lies. They're lying to lie. Why was it so awful? You know, like, well, what happened? And that's not Brandon, right? You didn't suddenly get with him. But whoever that liar was, why was it so awful? Like, what did he do? What were some of the things that really irritated you? All right, Joe, go ahead. All right, Joe. Well, just look pretty. We're fine. I don't think you can hear us right now, Joe.
You know, Keith, that was pretty sexist of you to assume that her pathological liar friend was a male and not a
Don't
female.
start, Anthony.
Just saying. Just saying.
Don't start. Oh, you know what?
You know?
And I was wrong. Because it was a female. She faked a pregnancy.
See? There you go.
I was wrong. All right. So I didn't learn anything from Wednesday's show, apparently. But we were doing sexism in the opposite direction, so I guess it's okay. Because I assumed that a woman would not lie.
Okay.
And Joe is apparently still here with audio, so I don't know if he is. You can feel free to talk. I think we can still hear you right now if you are here. But that's a bullshit. I had a girlfriend that I was living with that actually did that, and that was pretty much the end of that relationship really quickly because she had a 10-month pregnancy and no baby. So,
it's funny how that works. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a 5-year relationship like that. And, some of those things, you have those memories, especially of your youth. That stuff needs to stay in long term better than everything. So you have those little moments just burned into your memory of, why the fuck did I do that? Or why did I react to or go through something like that, Because I put up with so much bullshit in my own past relationships, and thankfully I finally got past all of that, and I learned finally, okay, this is what I want, and if I'm not getting it, then I'm getting out. And that was for relationships, and that was for friendships, and all that stuff, because you waste 5 years, and you start to get a little bit older, and it's like, okay.
But you realize how much your life gets wasted.
Right.
Like my existential crisis that I'm having right now is a lot of it has to do with looking back on my life and realize that all my 20s were spent doing, while all my friends were out having fun, doing unique things, having a great time, I was providing the entertainment instead of enjoying it. And it didn't seem bad at the time.
Yeah.
But now I look back and I want to enjoy some of those things. And once my friends got older, they don't want to do those things anymore. And that's where you realize you lost it because you think that they're always going to be there.
Sure.
And as far as like my ex here, because she had two baby showers, one thrown by my work, one thrown by her own family. And then I found out she wasn't. And everybody was asking, like, when's the baby coming? I was like, don't ask me. Because I'm like, the truth's got to come out. It's been over 9 months. There's no fucking baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way that this can carry on much longer. She kept trying until she came and said something that wasn't true about it. And that's what pretty much ended that. Elena says that a study found that men don't just rank higher than women in terms of how often they lie. They also consider themselves better liars. This according to researchers from the Portsmouth University. Now, were those researchers men or women? Because if they were men, that research could be a lie. I'm just saying.
And if they were
I don't
women,
want to trust it.
It could be biased research.
And if it's women, it's biased.
Yeah.
But I do believe that. I do believe that men
yeah.
think they are great liars. Most men I know think that nobody's ever going to catch them. It's the perfect lie. It's great in every way. But they're also dumb. Like, they think people don't figure shit out.
Sure.
They really do. Like,
men are not very
stuff.
smart creatures. We're very basic.
We are. We were born basic, and I don't mind being a little basic, on that. But I don't do the lying thing like that because I've never understood it. I still don't. I get protective lies. I get white lies to protect somebody's feelings or what's going on. Not necessarily they're always right to do that, but I get that. I just don't get the I've got to one up you. This has got to be about me. This story wasn't as whatever it happens to be.
No.
That's what I don't understand.
And I know you're having a bad day, but my day was so much worse. So
exactly.
I need you to put your day aside and give me a hug because my day was so bad.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Elena says Brandon is trash at lying. There are some people that try so hard and they just cannot lie for the life of them. Just no matter what, you just know and so you're full of shit. No matter what.
That's the ironic thing about that situation too, right? Because there's so many relationships out there, whether it be friendships or physical relationships, where people stay with the other people. They know that they are getting lied to. They know that they don't want to be in the relationship anymore. But, there's that balance of, do I want to be alone or do I want to be with someone but unhappy?
One of Elena says on that, I hate that shit. We can both have bad days. It's not a competition. And I feel in a way that people that do that lie like their day's got to be worse, it's because they feel that their problems are lessened. Like they're not as important because you're having the problems too, so you're dismissing mine. So they've got to one-up it. And they want people to feel sorry for them. It's sad, to say the least, but that's what they do. And I felt that way before. Like I have been saying stuff, I'm like, well, come on, I want to talk about me. But I don't go forward to try to make their lie less or their story less.
Yeah.
Those...
I say let's get a drink together.
Those somebody talk people where you're in a group of, just around a table or something like that.
Like this show?
There's a conversation, and then for a brief moment, maybe 10 seconds, there's a lull in conversation. And someone's got to go, awkward, or, geez, somebody talk. Like, we have to amuse you. Like that, like that 10-second interval of silence. You can't just be. And those are the same types of people where it's just...
I'm one of those people too, actually. I don't like when I have a group of people over and I look around and for minutes on end, they just don't say a fucking word. And I'm like, why did you come over here? What's the point?
So
sometimes people just want to be around people without talking.
Right, yeah.
And I used to accept that primarily when I was younger, but I don't accept it now because this is what's happening.
Are these sober people? Oh, yeah.
Like they're all on the phone.
But I'm talking about the instances where
just those moments.
Nobody's not on the phone in those instances. It's just a lull or a break in conversation.
Hey, Formal Foundation. How you doing tonight, Formal Foundation? Good to have you here. What's on your mind? What's been going on in your world? That's what we want to hear about. That's what I talk about. This is our open forum. It's your show. Oh, look at this. Formal Foundation is spam. But let's see. Congratulations, all three of you given access. Oh, it's not spam because he knows I was here. Again, access to one-time trip to time travel. You can choose a single place and go to. I actually like this. No, I like this.
Yeah,
where you're going.
I'll play with this.
I totally, for a second, thought this was legit spam. I realize it's not now.
One-time
okay.
Trip
to go. You're unable to interfere where you're going on your time travel holiday. So I think this is hypothetical. Where will we go? What will we do?
Without affecting anything.
Yeah, so we can't touch anything. So basically, we can view something. You can't
save Abraham Lincoln. You can't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we
can't
can view
stop
something.
The Titanic.
Where would you go? Now, I guess it depends if that shit could affect you too. I guess theoretically it could not. Oh, okay. And he says he's good. And no, this is great. I just saw all three of Gavidex as a one-time trip, and that's all I saw. And then I read the rest of it. I realized it wasn't. It says no, it's not spam. I'm working on a project and looking at different people's views. So I mean, I guess Whether or not it could affect you is an issue, because there's some things that I would want to see that I could not survive seeing. Whether it goes back to the dinosaurs or the eruption of like Mount St. Helens or something like that, because those are spectacles, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Would you go into the past? Because you can time travel. So you can go into the future.
I would not go into the future because I do not want to see what I'm going to miss.
Nope.
Yeah.
And it also could be good or bad. I mean, it could be really good and I'm going to miss it, or bad, I don't want to know that that's coming.
Get that sports almanac.
Honestly, what I would love to see, because I think it's probably one of the most awesome spectacles the planet ever saw, would be the meteorite that destroyed the dinosaurs. To actually view something like that, I think would be one of the most awesome spectacles in the world, if I could do it. But again, that depends on whether I can be harmed by that trip or not.
That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, Anthony? Oh, hold on. He says now there's an extra point that needs to be added. Wherever you go, you are not harmed. Okay, so you will be presented in a way that is correct at that time. Okay, so I stand by mine. I just think witnessing that event would be amazing. It's sad that the event happened, but I don't want to see that in real life because that's the end of my life. Right. But I would like to see it happen knowing I could not be harmed. Go ahead, Anthony.
Well, that kind of added things.
How long did it take for...
Come here. How long did it take for what?
For Pangea to break up?
Oh, over eons, I thought. No. Pangea took a long time. That whole breakup thing. That was not a quick thing.
I would have liked to... I mean, I don't know. It's a weird question because I'd like to know if Atlantis...
If you die, you end up just coming back to the present.
I'd like to know if Atlantis existed. So at that point, just to see that, or just to see if it was one of these, river banks or whatever off the African coastline that they think that it might have been, just to know for sure. Yeah. Would be pretty rad.
I'd like to check out the pyramids.
Yeah.
And see what the deal is. Yeah, like full blown everything going on in there. See what the real deal is.
Yeah, you'd never want to stay in the past because as much as we complain about right now, everything sucked much.
We've got it so easy.
Much worse back then.
It's the reason people have to find something to complain about.
Everybody was stinking ass people. Everybody.
So let's
Baz weren't a thing.
Oh, that's interesting. First, let's go to Elena, and then we'll go back to Formal Foundation added to this. Elena said, I would want to see the Beatles' first show in a pub before they were the Beatles.
But then it'd just be another show, and you wouldn't know. Because you'd be like, yeah, those guys are all right. But it'd be the same as, like, seeing my band. Like, nobody gives a shit.
All right, you guys talk amongst yourselves for 1 second, okay? But I figured out, he added to it, he said, just to point out the current averages pre-1980, no one has said last week yet. Well, that's because, our last week it sucked. That was the creation of the Fuck It show. I definitely do want to see last week again. For me, but pre-1980, I think that's because everybody wants to see something before they were alive.
Well, something we don't have answers to.
Yeah, okay, I might actually be able, they might have calmed down. Okay.
Like, is Atlantis a real thing? Nobody really knows for sure.
Right.
The pyramids, how did they get built? Nobody really knows.
Nobody really knows. That's what
the meteor that killed the dinosaurs. What was that like?
Mm-hmm.
Was it true? Yeah. I mean, the Big Bang could be a fun experience. That's going way back.
There's scientific proof for some of these things, but like, how did they build the pyramids?
In response to Elena's statement, says also, seeing the Beatles, you are not going back to watch a band. You're going to back to view a band that you already know are good. That's a good point.
Right, but they weren't great at that pub. You know what I mean? And they probably just had a little bit of hits, and they were all right. But not really.
Interesting
but
to
not
see
really fleshed out. No, I don't want to take anything away from it. Not at all.
No,
I'm
but no,
saying, it's valid for sure.
I've always wondered. You take like some of the biggest bands in history, like whether it's the Stones, Journey, anything like that, and to see where they started the first time. Were they nervous? Did they fumble? Were they actually that good at that point, or just have a
How
hit there?
shitty were they?
That's what I mean. Were they actually good at that moment?
Yeah,
Elena
the Beatles
says,
is. Ooh.
That would be an interesting to find out whether 9/11 was an inside job or not.
Well, did you hear some people are already talking about the what was it, those buildings that went down? And I don't remember where exactly it was. I just vaguely heard about it from over here. But it happened just recently. I think
The
there were
damaged
two
buildings with like some $1 million worth of repairs needed. Those buildings.
Yeah. The ones that pretty much fell like it was a planned demo.
Yeah.
Killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
saw
going
a
to
clip
have like
and
9 million in repairs, and I just read that. I think today I read about that.
I just saw a video clip of it, and I was like, "Holy shit!" But that doesn't really look like an accident.
You know what I'd like to find out is this thing. You ever heard of this?
What do we got? No, what is this?
This is the Antikythera mechanism. So, this thing was made. It was discovered in 1900 AD in a shipwreck on the Greek islands. Antikythera mechanism contains over 30 geared wheels and dials, and the remains are covered in astronomical inscriptions. Potentially one of the most significant finds of modern time, as it changes all preconceived conceived ideas of knowledge of the heavenly cycles, is now realized and has been redesigned. There's just a bunch of shit in here.
Interesting, but they don't know what.
That's what it was right there. And they think that. I'm trying to think how old.
Yeah, those are the buildings I think he's referring to.
But it's old as fuck.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Adding on here from. That's interesting. Also, on Elena's point, no one has yet specifically said until now they want to find something out that they could return evidence to the future. I usually want to go watch a band. That's the most common one, is I want to watch a band.
I can see that.
But I thought you couldn't change the impact of anything.
If you return evidence, you would.
Well, no, you can.
Well, you can't do anything in the past that will affect the future, but I guess you could bring it back to present time.
You could say, "Hey, I just went to the pyramids. This is how they were built. This is what they were used for." Boom, bitches.
But you couldn't lay a brick yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
To say on there.
That sort of changes.
This is great. This is a great topic. You can't change the past. You can change your future. I like you, Formal Foundation. I was like glad you popped on here. This has become very
fucking
interesting.
Bitcoin.
I know. Can't change the past.
Whatever I'm doing, I'm just going to look at the newspaper sometime in 1990. And
I mean, now,
Amazon,
but I have a question. You said time travel, single place, present or future. If I was to go look next week at the lottery numbers, would I be able to play that? Because I'm essentially changing that future I went to.
You can change the future, but not the past.
I get that, but if I look at the future, if I'm changing the time frame I'm in, I'm not visiting that same time frame if I decide to play those numbers from the future.
What about wormholes?
Formal Foundation, you picked a good group to ask this question
you
to.
Did.
Time, the rubber band theory. You get a lot of things.
Formal says he'll drop a follow. There's more stuff. A Formal, especially on Sundays because they're open forum. We just like talking about a whole bunch of crap. I would love to see you drop these things.
Or Peggy Sue got married. The burrito theory of time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Where was it? Layer.
Elena says Brandon will go to the future and find out what stocks are about to blow up. That was my point quickly about the lottery thing. Like, that is an ultimate change of the future you're visiting as well as your current situation. So in the past, I get you wouldn't change anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to the future and do something in the past, then you are changing that future.
Yeah, which was permitted, I thought.
Oh, I don't know.
He said you can't change the past, but you can change the future.
Yeah, you can't change the past.
Says you can change your future, so it had to be the future first. So I don't even know if he's here right now. I dropped a follow, which is awesome, because I'd like to get more stuff like that. But I want to follow. If there was one event that you think humankind will achieve that probably will not be achieved in your lifetime, what would you go visit in the future?
Mars, right?
Colonization of Mars.
Colonization. I mean, it'd be sweet if my kid could do a space trip when she's 60 or whatever. That's less than $5,000. That'd be great for a future thing. Because right now, to get on those planes like Bezos and all those guys, the auction is like $500,000, right? To get a seat on those fucking
Yeah,
things.
it's ridiculous right now.
So who knows?
To answer, of course, the question, which you said you were right on that. No, the future hasn't happened. So the events you perceive are dependent on what you do. Perceive, either one are dependent on what you do. So your potential to change the events. You're putting the lottery on when you didn't before, because the lady behind the counter to have an affair with her husband's best friend, which led him to spin butterfly effect, spin the balls at the same time as you did. In the future, you saw. Which, Back to the Future shit. Hold on.
I feel bad for that lady, but
my brain hurts.
But
it's true that's why I always, like, when I've ever talked about time travel or anything, like, I believe in time travel, but I believe only forward time travel, no going back. I do believe it's possible somehow that we have not figured out to travel to the future, but I do not believe necessarily in past time travel, because I don't like the idea that some dipshit in a laboratory could make me cease to exist and change my reality in every way. Of course, then
if anyone knows anything about you, they wouldn't want to do that.
Well, absolutely, because I'm fucking great.
If anything, clone you, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'd clone myself. That'd be some great fucking company. I'd
Me
clone
too.
myself.
Multiplicity.
Until I got to the last dumb one, I'd probably be like, okay, we gotta stop here. Yeah.
We need more Michael Keatons.
We do. That was actually a good movie. I still love that movie. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I liked it.
Bye, Anthony. He's still here with audio. He just doesn't want us to see whatever he's doing.
Okay.
Or he time travels, one of the two.
I see.
On there. So that would be, you'd see colonization of Mars. That would be the event.
I mean, anything at that point. I would love to see this world get over their bullshit and become Star Trek. That's what I'd love to see. I think we'll destroy ourselves before that happens.
Yeah, I think it'd be an infinite time that you just wouldn't be able to find that point. The way
right. Or it would be like the Jules Verne time machine, where you actually have to see everything wiped out. And then you just go so far ahead that
it's Eloy and Morlocks.
Right. Exactly.
Brandon says he wants to see how long it take us to unify into Earth instead of countries. Once we find other civilization, especially like Star Trek, they don't have countries. They are from a planet. I would like to be there for the first contact with interstellar life. Whether it's us there or them here, even if it's violent, even if it's Independence Day style, or or anything. I just want to see what it actually be like.
Just to know.
Ultimately, because I want to see how we react. Are we going to be the villains? Because I think we would be.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, there's no way. I mean, I think that's the large debate, right? On there are some thoughts that aliens are already here, and they're just not going to fuck with us because there's no point in even trying to communicate. Because we would just want to destroy them because of the fear involved.
Before I get to his follow-up there, I want to add Brandon's thing. Obviously, it won't happen in my lifetime, but it would be cool. And I agree. I think that would be really cool. Okay, so spin off onto that question relates to the first question. Formally, you're always welcome here. You now remove one item from your timeline, anything you want. No people allowed. However, you have to cause the most damage to your timeline. He did a follow-up here. Exclamation. The question is used to see how your train of thought can become very negative when given the tools to do so. No people allowed. So you can't bring somebody back. You can't remove a person from a life, just an item. So you couldn't change, like, a family member died. You couldn't change a death. You couldn't change anything like that. However, you have to cause the most damage to your timeline. So are you saying we want to cause the most damage? You're looking for how we would cause the most damage by removing one item?
I would bring back Action Comics #1.
remove one item though.
Yeah, and are you saying we got to figure out what item would have the worst impact on our lives if we got rid of it? Is that essentially what you're saying?
Oh, you can okay. You can now remove one item from your timeline. Anything you want.
Okay.
Does emotional baggage count? Can I get? Is that an item?
I just want clarification on the one thing on that, to make sure we understand this correctly. We move an island. We want to choose an item that, if we remove it, will cause the most damage to our lives. And he says, yes. So what one item can you remove that would ruin all the timeline to the worst outcome, not just our lives?
Ooh, that's a toughie.
That is a tough one, because when you remove an item, does it really damage it if the item never existed? Like right now, if you pull cell phones out of the world, well, most teenagers are going to die. But if you pull them out and they never existed, it wouldn't affect them at all, because they were never there.
At the same time, it would be great to remove the superconductor.
Okay. How do you think that would? What do you think that would cost?
Plenty, because you're going to have. There's a lot of things that you're just not going to be able to make with superconductors and microchips. So you're not going to be able to pull off the internet. You're not going to be able to pull off a lot of these things. But so progress would be maybe going a different way and stunted for years, but at least it would be in my lifetime.
Example of the gun that kills Lincoln. This depending on when you pull this from existence. It's useless to do it after he's shot. Now,
the iceberg.
See, I'm a little bit confused on it here, because can we move? If we remove it now, say using your theory, it's useless to do it because we're moving from our current timeline.
Well, yeah, but in our timeline, as far as like the world that we live in,
so we can go back and remove it from that point. So we pick a time basically in our.
So like
timeline.
The plane that dropped the atom bombs on Japan.
Okay,
remove those, but and then World War II probably continues for a while.
Okay, I got you.
And Hiroshima, yeah.
What item and from what point do you take it? This is probably gonna get me not a lot of votes here. I would take those damn commandments out of Moses' hand.
But were they in his hand?
Wherever they were. Wherever they were. Because I believe that, whether you're believing in religion or not, I believe that religion is responsible for most wars and deaths in this planet.
Yeah, but you get the problem with organized religion, though, is that you have one story. You know, even you take away the Moses story, you got 10 million other ones that are just going to crop up.
Yeah, but those commandments specifically have led to a lot of the worst things in history.
Yes, but at the same time, if you take that out, then our majority religion in America turns into something different. And you're
maybe more thought out, and maybe not based on as of right now.
We're trying to create havoc and like make bad.
I don't know when he said the gun out of Lincoln's. When he said remove the gun that killed Lincoln, that wouldn't havoc, but it had the most impact on the timeline. I think it's where he's getting.
I thought it was damage.
The most chaos for the future. That's why I'm changing what I was thinking. We can do the chaos too.
Evil.
But the pilots would drop out of the sky as the pilots, and anything on the plane would drop.
Oh,
I get what you're saying. Oh, you're
so we'd have to pull the bomb itself, remove the bomb that was dropped, but then there's two bombs,
or simply the explosive mechanism.
Right. Yeah. The atom.
The bomb could still drop, but the actual explosive mechanism is not there, so it just kills one guy in the street saying, "Take me first," and it turns out it was a dud. Says, ooh, I like this Sunday chill. Haha. I have topics to push on to you guys to discuss. I'm so happy.
This is beautiful. This is a beautiful day.
Indeed.
Elena says remove the Bible. And to a point, again, I get that.
I get that too, but at that point you're sort of it's a red herring, because right now the majority religion is Christianity in America. You still got extremists, and if you flipped it, there's going to be 10 million more other religions
But maybe
that are going to crop up. Maybe, but probably not, because
but you don't
organized-
think that by removing that you would have the biggest impact in the timeline for the future on.
But not necessarily for the better, though, because you're going to have another organized religion, because that's how organized religion came about in the first place.
Oh, you're fucking good, Formal.
Because you couldn't just murder people back then, because people were like, fuck it. Go ahead and kill me. What am I going to do? I'm tired.
He's really good right now.
I'm going to die.
The explosive away from the bomb, he says.
So
and when it lands, they ask where it's gone. At least people think it's been stolen, leads to a new world war.
And that's the point. Let's cause some fucking havoc.
Right.
Yeah, that is
Let's
it.
fuck some shit up.
So we're
which
going,
Bible, which copy, who do you take it from?
So we're going on GTA with this?
I'm trying to fuck shit up.
All right. Anthony, fuck shit up.
Go ahead, Anthony. Fuck shit up. Brandon says, before you do, imagine if we were just remove the timer on the bomb, lump of metal hits Japan. They find out we tried to nuke them. And, well, it's more about the tragedy. Well, the thing about removing the explosive from, I realize there was Nagasaki too in that case, but think about removing the explosive is the awesome power of that explosive created the ripple effect that did stop the war that was currently being played, that caused people to go to outdo that awesome power with new weapons and new nukes. The power presented is what I believe actually changed everything. So, yeah, it could be an angry thing to remove that nuke, and they say you dropped it on us, but that display of power was not shown from one country. And it wouldn't have created the arms race that we had suddenly. And they get pissed. And Elena answers to Formal Foundation, the first Bible. It's gone, no new versions because there's no original. So the first one written. Okay, Anthony caused destruction.
Fuck it up.
Well, that's I was trying to do that with the atom bomb thing, but I can't think of anything in particular. But like you guys were saying with the Bible, right? So there's more than one religion, and there's some religions where a certain sex is pretty much treated as a lesser in that religion. So you get rid of Christianity, then that other religion is probably going to go a lot further, and then
you're going to have extremists from any because it's all about power. It's all about power. Any organized religion is based on the foundation that they can threaten eternal damnation on poor people if they don't do or stay in line.
The commandments that are listed.
That's what organized religion is.
I know.
Just take it.
So, see, if you remove the fuel from the plane, it would just be refilled. However, if you remove a certain amount of fuel, cause them to land crash somewhere else. And where do they crash? That's the joy of the butterfly effect. It's so small and something will always change. I still go with mine, kind of, but because I do see that everything was based on, those commands really set in stone exactly how you're supposed to live, what you're supposed to do, and I believe that was the turning point of everything.
Get rid of mold. You can fuck some shit up there.
Mold? That would fuck, I think, everybody up, actually. But that's a living creature. I don't know if living species in general are allowed or just people.
Or just like one item.
And Brandon says with the A bomb, it put us on top of the whole world. It made the world fear and respect us, but it also caused the world to try to outdo us and overtake us and have more of a desire to do so. We would immediately drop in world standing immediately. Which at that point, was that the right way to do it? I mean, if you're going in world history, was it really right to kill that many innocent civilians to prove a point that we're so powerful? Some would say it's all based on a foundation. See, I wish I could replace it. I would say I would turn all bullets to Reese Pieces.
Yeah, but a Reese PC fired from a gun is still going to fucking hurt.
But, you wouldn't try to catch it. I might.
Someone would, and then we'd learn what it did.
Well, a bullet is not... A Reese PC is not going to fire the same way as a bullet because it doesn't have the back...
That's true.
Yeah, so it's not going to fire the same way.
It probably wouldn't fire though if it didn't have a firing.
Exactly. And if you try to shoot your gun and a Reese Piece falls out, you're like, dude, check this out. Reese Pieces.
Yeah.
I was like, but that's, of course, replacing an item.
But what if you have a peanut allergy?
Well, then we automatically rid the world of those people.
Not cool, man.
Oh, but Hiroshima and Nagasaki's fine. All right, some would say it's all based on the foundation of
not
Formula
cool.
1 at that. Final simple answer, which shows how sadistic you would be: remove the gene that allows the ability to procreate.
Oh,
But wouldn't that be removing
that
people?
is very sadistic. Yeah, that would fuck up everything.
But you can't remove people.
Well, it's removing the gene, which results in the eventual removal of people. You're not removing anyone in particular.
I mean, I get
you're just
that,
removing that specific gene. That is. You're an evil genius.
You're not removing people; you're removing the ability to create people. But you're also altering people. So that's why I was curious to do that. But that's a great.
I like where your head's at.
Or just remove the sun.
Oh God!
Bye.
I do think that will have the most impact on everything.
Right? If we're going towards the gene, it's like, all right, sun
gravity,
setting.
just get rid of gravity, make it fun. That would be fun.
That would be
In
fun.
general.
Yeah.
Which particle?
The
I'm
God
removing the
particle.
sun. It doesn't really matter. Pretty much, you put that thing out. That's all she wrote.
Mm-hmm.
That's good though. I'm slow. I never thought I'd be thinking on a Sunday show. This is good. Make me use my brain and everything. What about out there? I mean, we still have some people out there who are watching. If you got one, shoot it at us. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the answer is. So to cause
Well,
the
there's-
most chaos on the timeline, but not necessarily evil, destructive chaos, I think is what he's looking at. But the most chaos to the current.
But at that point, it's all sort of objective, right? Because, I mean, what's to say is evil or not? Removing the gene, that's pretty diabolical.
Right. Well,
That's
I
brilliant.
don't think formal foundations on the Mother Teresa category.
That is fucking brilliant.
That is. But would you be able to return to your own timeline doing that? Because
Probably
wouldn't
not.
you cease to exist in the moment? How could you
No,
return
if
to
you
your
remove,
timeline?
if you
Well, I don't
remove
think
the
you're time
particle,
traveling at this point.
Just once everybody dies, they die.
So
and
if you
then
took it
there's no
out
more people.
now to
Yeah.
alter the future events.
Right.
Bye-bye.
All right, so Formal wants to kill everybody. I like that.
Well, just civilization. He doesn't want to kill everybody. Just make sure they can't procreate.
Well, yeah, but all future generations.
Yeah.
But do you actually, honest? Do you think we would develop that gene if we removed it?
What, the procreate?
Yeah.
I
I mean, there's a lot of species out there that,
If we lost it,
in like single-sex environments and stuff like that, can automatically create what they need to create life
through thousands of years.
through thousands of years. I
of
get that.
evolution, sure. Sure. Then men would have babies. Or we'd all be
Elena
dead.
says, "Let's remove Y chromosomes. Scientists have been working on a way for women to procreate without men for a while."
That's true. And they have. There's plenty of women out there who've gotten taken care of without the assistance of man.
He says, "See, the downfall of this crossbreeding would still exist. So, in essence, would the world not become crossbreeds of animal-human hybrids?" That's what I was talking about. Like, would we not find a way to continue,
So this is
even
how
if you remove that?
this is how man bear pig happens.
Man, bear, pig. Yes,
Man,
this
bear,
is
pig.
how man, bear, pig.
Yeah.
Well, but see, so we wouldn't be able to reproduce because the gene that allows us to is gone. Then how would we be able to crossbreed if we do not have the gene for reproduction?
Now, my question about this whole thing, because I get where you're going with this at the same time, but when you say remove the gene, remove it from who? Because you said one item. One, not multiple or anything like that. So who do you remove it from? If you go back in time, you cease to exist by removing it from Adam, or So if you can only remove one item, you can't use the genes or Y chromosomes or anything like that.
You just go get some more baby gap.
But also, I didn't specify when I removed the gene, so in theory, you could remove an entire lineage from the timeline, which would breed. So, okay. So basically, if you wanted to remove it from Hitler at that time and...
or his parents.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, that's what a better way of putting it. And eliminate so much in the future. I gotcha. So from one person still is where he's going, so I get that. Okay. So not removing genes entirely, stopping the world, but yeah, from one person, prevent them from being born.
Gotcha.
God, that's really deep.
Yeah, I could think up some diabolical shit, but I need more time, and that's not going to happen this hour.
No, I get what you're saying. I was using Hitler for an example. He says you're thinking too shallow. His parents only removes him. Go back 12 generations. But no, I get what you're saying now. So you could essentially move from that point forward, but by still removing just one person instead of multi. So you could remove all the genes from everybody at one point in time. Like we originally discussed, if we did it now, we're stopping future generations. We couldn't do that. We can only stop one person from creating future generations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anybody else got something on there? Because I honestly think formal, you've definitely beaten us with most of those. I wasn't really going the
I feel like I need some time to prep for these things.
No, it's all better when we don't get to prep.
I'm sticking with the sun.
Well, that's not really. If you do a single person, there's spring, at least all chance partner. That's what I was agreeing with on there. I just was using the Hitler for an example to say kill lineage from that point on. But yeah, obviously go further back. But you have to be careful with decisions like that, because if you go back, 12 generations, you said, to kill the family that would eventually bore Adolf Hitler, how many people did great for this world that you could be destroying from that lineage?
You want to fuck some shit up, remove that gene from Attila the Hun.
Either that or stop that asteroid from happening, and then we're fucking with dinosaurs. And that'll even the playing field.
And he says, now what if the lack of gene is contagious? So, okay.
So like children of men.
Yeah, so you pull it, and then I sneeze on you, and you lose that gene. Direct way.
Yes, that would suck. At that point, I'd be saying fuck it.
It is the fuck it show. Yep. So we can definitely say fuck it.
And we get full circle with it.
All right.
So how long have you been thinking about this formal? Because you really have this gene, you're really for this gene thing. How much effort have you put into this thought? I'm really curious, because I get where you're going, and all these answers on top of there are just adding to it, but it is still taking away from the idea of just removing one item.
A paper or two.
A paper or two. Okay. Or two. So you studied it. What else you got for us? I'm interested. We usually done about an hour into it, but I'm interested for one more. I want to hear what you got for us. Give us something else philosophical.
Yeah. And
even along the same line, but
on the next open forum.
Yeah, it's going to become it's the Open Formal Foundation.
Yeah, I'm all about deep questions.
Plug his laptop in.
Deep theoretical questions.
Oh yeah, you gotta let us know if you're gonna be on. I'll even do the intro. Formal's gonna be here. We're gonna have some questions for you.
There you go.
This is really interesting. I love it. And you fucked me up without being able to remove people on that. But to change, I still want to see the destruction of the dinosaurs. Prep time while he plugs the laptop in. Okay. So while he preps on there, we'll give him a few minutes. We can just bullshit about other stuff. What else is going on?
Nothing.
Yep. See, you were the core of this experience for me.
No, actually, my Abby's getting her tooth pulled on Thursday. So we're going in for that to Beaumont because she actually has to get put under for that. And we had to deal with all this bullshit because nobody wanted to put her under because of her epilepsy, you know.
Okay.
Didn't want to risk it.
So what'd they do?
Well, there's actual professionals that have done it a lot, and they do it in the actual Beaumont hospital so that you have proper.
How is that overall all working out?
Anesthesiologist. This is the first time we're doing for this because they're just going to pull the tooth.
They're just going to pull the what?
The tooth.
Okay.
But she's been poked and prodded so much that, you know, she doesn't have a lot of love or trust for doctors.
How much longer does she have to go through this stuff like that?
I mean, her whole life. You know,
there's not going to be a moment that she's not going to have to anymore.
No, I mean, there's a lot of things that, you know, she is going through that she's going to have to continue going through. One is, you know, she's sort of getting separation of leg growth at this point. So we might have to figure that out later. Hopefully not. Cross your fingers on that. But, you know, it's just cerebral palsy is a motherfucker. And especially, you know, from baby to full growth is when it's the worst because it's not a degenerative disease, but there's so many factors, and trying to sort of maintain the proper growth and things like that is it takes a lot of stress on her, on us, a lot of money.
Do you think ultimately in the future that's the stuff, because people go through a lot of stuff and sometimes it makes them very strong people. Do you think she's pulling strength from all that's going on with her that she's going to carry in through her life?
I hope she comes out strong. My fear is that she is very timid at this point and very scared.
She's still very young.
Right, I know. And she's been through more than 80% of the children out there at this point as far as shots and things like that. I mean, fuck, like every 3 months she got multiple Botox injections in her calf, like right below her calf. Shots right here.
Right.
How much does that suck? Right. So,
right.
You know, it's that type of shit. And it's like, and we don't want to do it. But that's why she was in a cast for 6 months, because we didn't do it.
Formal says, Gabe, there's nothing but positive vibes from me, but send in love.
Thank you.
I always, and him, Formal, bringing up all this stuff too, it makes me go through a lot of things that people have gone through life, like you said, talking about your daughter. And would you change things? If you could eliminate certain deaths and certain ways of things happening, would you change it? Or do you think you change, and like he's saying, everything in the future by doing that?
I would change, yeah. I mean, there's a couple people that I lost very young.
But would you be who you were if you didn't lose them?
Yes. Because it was just a couple years ago. You know, if I could do it today, I'd do it in a fucking heartbeat, because I need those people. I need them.
I mean, I definitely... I sympathize. I'm on your side with that 100%, because that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're back here. Okay, now I want you to imagine something totally different. Crazy time travel head off. Therapist head on. Okay.
I'm in my therapist chair.
Okay, he's in his therapist chair, so he's good. All right, I'm ready for this. I'm definitely ready for this.
Probably not the best person for it, but...
well, that's ultimately what we're here for too, though, is to talk about things like that. So it could be good. You can read it; it's going to matter. Oh,
I'm pushing my earbuds in.
Oh, I got yours. All right. Hey, your microphone's been pretty good this time. You haven't gone low volume at all.
Yeah. Don't jinx it.
Is that noise canceling shit?
No, it's just my Bluetooth headset I use for like phone calls and work and shit.
Oh, okay.
It's the first time I've hooked it up with this laptop doing this stuff in the hotel room, and every now and then it likes to just say "call ended," completely disconnect.
You know what else it likes to say?
Ooh.
But fuck it.
There you go.
Fuck it. All right, formal foundation. Here's our question: what if the ability to try and travel was provided? So I got to put that hat back on. I just got rid of that.
Therapy treatment wise.
Allowing someone 2 hours of quality time, is this something you would support or not? No, I would not.
No.
As much as I think we want stuff like that and we want those moments back, I believe Gabe's going to have a different answer.
As far as reliving the past, no. If I couldn't do anything about it,
Well,
at that point, I'm just looking at, I mean,
Well, therapy treatment isn't like you get 2 hours just to sit down with somebody and.
or are you reliving? And could the 2 hours of quality time, would that have the capability to affect the future of that person you're having that quality time with? Example, your friend ran in front of a bus and you have quality time and your friend is now occupied during that time period you went back. He doesn't run in front of that bus anymore. So is there ramifications involved with what you do during that period? Or is it just getting to view and talk with them, but the outcome does not change? But I'm sure almost everybody would go towards death. Like they would hit something from death to have that time back.
Right. You know, if people wanted to talk to a lost parent.
Elena says she doesn't think it would be beneficial. I don't either, but I do think that there's something to be said on whether or not you could change it. And as much, like I say, I would definitely want to bring my mother back without question or do something that would be different.
Right.
But
if you were
wonder
just,
if that was the case, where would you be from it?
But at that point, is it just like you're watching old videos, but you're actually there?
Okay,
is it just reflection?
This clears it. So it's actually pulling them to you. It says, I'm saying you can pull someone from the past and talk to someone who you've lost from that point. There's no effect on the past. It's still you being able to say sorry, accept an apology, talk about things you never had the chance to.
In a heartbeat.
Then I would change my answer.
For sure. All fucking day.
Yeah, I'd think to be able to, because I think too many people lose them without questions and without wondering. One of the biggest things with my mom is literally remembering whether or not I said I love you on the phone to her. I don't remember if I did.
And it's never like it is in the movies, right? Where you think someone slowly gets ill in a hospital and you have your moment to say goodbye. It's not. It's rarely ever like that. It's bam, see ya. And then Elena, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. Elena, do you stand by your answer on that point? Because that's a different way of putting it if you're bringing her to talk to. I think for a lot of people, especially the anger people develop inside, and they change people who they are. And a lot of it often has to do with loss they've experienced in the past and never had closure on. And they're mad. And I think that could help a lot of people's lives in the future, personally.
There's a lot of instances. I've never met my grandfather. I'd like to meet him. That'd be great.
Elena says, I would do anything to have a 2-hour-long conversation with my grandpa who never knew me as an adult.
Oh, there you
go. I think having to go through the grieving process again would wreck me.
And that's where the catch-22 of that comes in.
Right.
Because you do get the closure, but then it's gone. And you have 2 hours of being with that person, and then they're ripped from you again. And yeah, you have that closure from those unanswered questions, but there's probably always going to be more.
Again, you are what he's saying, right? See, I have a little different opinion on that because you know what? I go through the grieving process of my mother almost nightly.
Yeah.
She's there in my dreams. I wake up, I still don't have the answers I ever wanted. And I'm like, it is almost a nightly thing. So for me, yes, that would give me some answers that I need just to be able to say, like I said, one of my biggest things was remember if said I love you, just being able to know she was there to hear that. But he just put a kink in those gears. He said, remembering that this is something that doesn't affect the past, would you change your view if a year down the line you found out this was all built from AI-made catalog voice and voice? Goes, well, of course. It's not the real person and you're doing it just from an AI system. No. Personally for me, because I don't think you can ever... You'd still have the same questions no matter what. because AI is not a person. Would my mother have answered the way the machine did?
Right. And if that's the case, then that finding out that it's just built from AI is going to make you feel empty and feel like that whole process was a waste of time. Sure.
Oh, now this is 2 hours weekly. No. If it is an AI machine and I have found that out or that has been established, no. If I thought I was legitimately doing it, yes. But again, once I find that out, that's shot to hell, because then everything I just talked about, I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's true.
Right. It's the equivalent of a therapist holding up puppets. Would you like to talk?
Not just 2 hours is 1 hour. By
at
the
that
way,
point.
Didn't have that. So yeah, 2 hours. And again, you did it for a year, and I may believe it for a year, but that year is undone the minute I found out that wasn't a real person. It's like chatting online with somebody who you think they are, and then you find out they're not. It undoes everything.
That's the ultimate fucking catfish.
It is.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I think that would do far more damage.
Service.
If it came out to be an AI, it would do far more damage to the people who had talked to him for a year, I personally believe. And he says, great, so here we go.
All right.
Okay, so something's coming.
People get murdered for that shit, I think. Right?
I think they would. If you found out somebody tried to sell you a bill of goods, it was a loved one that you could talk to and actually communicate with, and then pulled the rug out from under you and said, it wasn't real.
That's snake oil, right?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Oh.
And yeah, I think somebody would get killed for that. I might be the one to do it, and I wouldn't want to murder anybody in my life. But want to. I can't see me actually doing it.
But ask those guys that were at the concert with hologram Tupac how they feel about it.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Was it Michael Jackson was a hologram? Tupac was a hologram?
Mm-hmm.
For that stuff. No, I mean, to me, it's a cool effect. It's cool that you can do that, but it's not real. And I'm a big one on that.
Well, and it's a little bit different for entertainment values, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Because it's in memory. It's honoring. It's not real. You know that. Okay, remove time travel from the aspect. Now you move on to drugs that do the exact same thing, but you could leave someone to live in a DMT-driven therapy session. I still know. I mean, I go with your initial thing of saying that it is that if you're really contacting and pulling them from time travel, yes.
Then you're getting into repo men.
Yeah, anything that isn't real, my personal thing is no. I don't know about you two, how you feel about it.
No.
Mm-mm.
Drugs are fun and all, but...
So here's the thing. Is it going to have a PlayStation menu? Can I hit standby and come to it later?
I mean, don't get me wrong. If you had the right AI, the Superman thing is kind of a good example. And I've actually, ever since I've seen Superman, the show, he's got the Crystal Palace and everything that when he talks to his parents or anything like that, the Fortress.
Oh, yeah.
It's always recording. It's data driven. Now it's computer manufactured people he's talking to. He's not actually talking to his family. And I have always had a problem with that because you always wonder, would a human or Krypton in that sense make those same decisions?
Side note, did you watch the end of Superman and Lois?
It's not the season finale, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was? Then yes, I did.
Wait, what a fantastic show.
I love that show.
I love that show. I hope it sticks around. Superman and Lois.
Was that when? I'm trying to think if I watched it or not now.
It's on the WB.
It's on Media Bomb too. So
that is also where I watched it.
You're able to drive your session, so you get to choose what can be. I'm still no. I cannot change it if I know it's artificial. My answer will not change. Theirs might. So if you got a different opinion, go ahead.
No, my answer doesn't change.
Yeah.
And I guess it all depends what type of therapy you're talking about.
Now there could be a point in the future that this is so common that it is accepted by everybody.
Right.
There's downloading consciousness or something like that, which I don't even believe in that process.
Right.
What was that? What was it? Fucking Altered Carbon?
Mm-hmm.
Altered Carbon, yeah.
That's a cool show.
That was good. but they ended up canceling that. Superman is kind of along those same lines this season was.
So Formal, you're asking these questions. I'm here as my dog just like puts different comments up.
He's like, ruh,
yeah.
Fuck it.
What would you do? Do you think it's a good idea? Just curious. Remember, as well as letting someone you love do the DMT session, not you doing it, but they're not real.
What is DMT?
It's a drug.
It's a drug?
Yeah, I thought that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. It's like a hallucinogen.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I just, no matter what, it's not real. Even if they're driving it, I'm driving it, anything is, I'm a very firm believer it's not real. He, however, says yes, he would do it. He would be in favor. Why is that? What do you think is the gain from artificial response?
You know, I think it's for some people. I don't think it's for all people. Some people, I think, would be able to sort of fool themselves into believing that.
No, he's saying it is a drug.
And in retrospect, it's going to help them get over those things, you know. For others that I think are chronic thinkers, they're always going to see the angle.
Well, I mean, yeah, actually,
I think all three of us are that type of people, you know.
From a different perspective, and I'm going to use Elena, actually, her example. Conversation with her grandpa, who never got to know her as an adult, obviously died when she was very young. That might be a lot different for her because just the voice alone may help. So there are, I think, situations where that could be a good thing. But I don't, in my case, it is about the reality. But I think somebody who hasn't talked to somebody in a long time, maybe an estranged father they had never got to see before they died or something, to hear their voice again might make a difference. And that could be very therapeutic to them.
And at the same point, can't something like that turn into a drug? So you're going to have your unlimited time. And if you do sort of form this relationship, say you weren't bonding before, you started getting addicted to the therapy session in the first place. And then it's unbeneficial at that point. And it's doing more harm and more good.
I don't know what you're doing, Formal Foundation, right now. I'm just saying, you got your leading questions so far, and he says you're nearly there, guys. If this is my mom talking to me right now, I was like, I don't know what's going on. You got something up there, but I'm curious now.
He's almost downloaded all of our information, I believe.
He's creating the program right now as we're talking.
He's ready to let us go.
Next thing you know, we're going to be on Tuesday night. None of us will be there.
Yeah.
Just going to be a simulation of all of us talking. What are we nearly there? What are we looking for here?
Take the blue pill.
I don't take the blue
pill. Is this Morpheus? Morpheus, is that you?
I got to give you credit because right now my head is going, what's going on right now? Is this fucking Matrix shit?
Hopefully it's Morpheus from Matrix 1, not 2 or 3.
Got a little bit of like a thing going on in my head. I'm like, this is very interesting. I'm curious where we're almost at. We're nearly there. I don't want to stop this show now. Like, I want to see where this is going.
Man, fuck it.
Fuck it. It's a fuck it show. We don't care.
Yeah, fuck it.
We could be. I'm glad you came on the fuck it show. It was really going to be a show, Formal. It's just going to be a show where we pretty much said fuck it to everything. And okay, here we go.
I want a cigarette.
Here goes. Okay, would you allow someone with dementia to experience an AI-driven simulation that was 100% realistic, 100% in tune with their memories, allowing them to have theory sessions? Yes. Yes. I would.
Yeah.
I think of people that I knew that had dementia, including my grandmother, who was not severely bad, but I know some that were a lot worse as well. And I think people telling them when things aren't real, when they're really deep in there, messes them up a lot. because they forget things going on currently and they're so stuck in that past, it's not their fault. And to constantly be told the things you remember don't no longer exist, and you know you're pretty much on your way out the door, or you know that person is, what hurts in giving them some happiness? That thing they long for. But he's going to add to it, so let's find out.
I have some thoughts, but Anthony, what do you think?
Yeah. Well,
I don't see why not. The only thing I feel like it would almost be cruel at points, because if you give them, let's say a 2-hour window where it's 100% real and 100% like they remember everything, and then you rip it from them, and then you give it back to them, and then you rip it from them, I feel like it's a little cruel.
Doesn't dementia do that on its own, though?
Right. And that's the thing, right?
Dementia already does that.
So you'd be revisiting something, but so on 100% realistic and 100% in tune with their full memories. Okay. But is that going to cause, because with dementia, aren't you sort of sporadic with your thinking anyway, and you're sort of scattered all over the timelines of your life and thinking up different memories and stuff like that. So if you're adding an amplifier to your scattered brain, isn't that going to make for a much worse trip?
I do not think it would in this case, because they don't know they're tripping. They don't know it, and I think it can put them in a place of easing, because you're taking it away no matter what. The minute you say, Mom, Bobby died 20 years ago, or this doesn't exist anymore, or your puppy, was killed over 50 years ago.
Right, but it's not always situational where it's someone talking to you or you recognizing the person. It sends you to another time period, or
but if this is
another
completely
memory.
In tune with it, I don't think that would be an issue.
Well,
as he's saying.
So if this thing was essentially replacing dementia and just putting you in those memories for extended periods of time, and you weren't scattered thought-wise, and you were able to stay in the moment of that for, I don't know how long.
But would they view it the same as if they had a phone call with somebody? Like, they know they hang up, they get to talk to this person every week. Even if this AI experience could be done via phone call, you hang up with the AI, they don't know the difference. They're never taken really out of it. They think that phone conversation is over. Adding to it, because he's got a little more to it, you are not allowed to be present inside a person's sexual, which means you would not see the things they remember, and I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. I wouldn't want to be. As long as I know that it made them happy in the moment for me. Thoughts?
I mean, who knows? Again, because if their brain is sending them down memory lane, it could be the worst moments of their lives. And
considering these are like therapeutic sessions we're talking about to help them, I don't.
So the AI is guiding what memories you're going
I imagine,
to?
yeah. I imagine.
Yeah.
I can get deep into sci-fi.
This would be used as a paracetamol for when the person is having a vivid recollection, which could, I think, still important.
But that's what I'm talking about. I mean, if you're putting someone in that.
But they're having it anyway, but the difference is they're having it being lost. They're having it with nothing to help them get through it. This would help them, because you're not going to change the dementia. You're not going to change the reality. All you're going to do is pull it away from them, which is the same thing with you telling someone says what causes them to become so displaced, because their mind's already there. Most of these people are at their end of their life. You want them going out the end of their life so confused or believing they're in this place they remember. And if it happens to be bad, that's bad too.
Yeah.
And he says, ding, 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 Gabe, you're on the big picture here, by the way. But I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't. I get where you're saying that things can be bad, but that's to assume those memories. Most people I've ever met with dementia are talking good things about situations. I hardly ever see people with dementia that have the negative thoughts hit them. I'm not saying they don't exist.
Right.
But to outweigh the good, that's not the case. The good memories usually are what take precedence. It's things from childhood, things where they are.
I get it, but you're not fixing it. You're just adding an amplifier to dementia.
Well, no, and I kind of get where Keith's coming from too, because most of the time with dementia, it is your last your last moments.
Right. And
whether it be last 10 years, 15 years, whatever.
And
so if there is something that offers
some peace,
easing of that, right? And peace of mind, so it's not a constant lost in I don't know where the fuck I am, who you are, any of that. I think it would be pretty good.
And here he's going on with this example, which makes sense. The only person to consider if the person's memories were covered up. Imagine someone who spent an entire life covering up a rape is now exposed as true. Okay, granted that's true, but we're looking overall. If that is the case, the dementia itself is still repeating that rape in their mind, even without the help.
But
they're still going through it. Now, yes, you can pull them out of it. But yes, you can pull them out of it. But you've got to weigh the options of that. And maybe if people knew that was going to happen before dementia, they would start, if they knew this technology existed, maybe they're not going to hold that in so much. Maybe they'll let them know. But most people do not go down the negative route of dementia.
Right.
It is the simple, happy childhood memories typically that take over in dementia. The basics.
I think we're on different planes of how this works. And I think that's where, my train of thought is if it's working this way, and I think your train of thought is if this was sort of a way of revisiting those memories, staying there in a controlled environment for some peace of mind. If that was the case, and that you could pick and choose in those situations, for sure.
Well, you can't, because he said they're in there alone. You're not in the room. You can't pick those memories. But he never said that there wasn't an aftermath. We're talking about doing this on a regular basis. 2 hours a week, I think is what he went with, on a regular basis. Even with dementia, if you put that reel in their head and you did fuck them up for 2 hours, don't do the shit no more. Because when they come out of that, there's still going to be a response and a change in that person that, oh my God, I fucked up. I never knew this. But that is something fully repressed that's never been talked about. You have no reason. If I'm aware someone was raped and I know that their dementia thoughts and what they talk to, they often go to bad places, of course I would never take them in that place. When I hear them talking about coming in for cookies after playing with their friends, I would love to be back at that place before I die. If I'm just scattered and don't know what's going on, I would absolutely love that. I hope it is.
So going back to the previous questions. So if you had dementia and you knew you were taking this drug in your moments of lucidity, so you knew you were taking this thing, isn't that the same thing as sort of the AI revisits of past?
What is the AI?
Right. So isn't that the same thing as revisiting and knowing that these things are just sort of generated and not real?
Well, I know. Well, they would, but with dementia, you don't know that. And I don't know if he ever said that person, because he asked if we would do it for that person with dementia. He did not say if that person chose to. As if we would. So they may be unaware of this. But I will say, if somebody with dementia is reliving and constantly thinking about a rape they never told anybody, they're still tortured inside with that.
Yeah, but how much? I mean, it doesn't even have to be rape. It can just be regret of a
I'm using the
lifetime.
example he said.
Right.
I'm using that example for it.
Yeah.
Maybe it is regret, but those people are haunted. There are people with dementia who are mean, who are remembering bad things. Obviously, you would not say if you saw them regularly and you know their reaction, I'm not going to put you on this to relive that moment over and over. It's only going to work that that's going to happen on something that's been repressed within their memory that they are hiding personally, because they're the only ones with that memory. But they will come out of it because they have dementia, still thinking what they saw was real, and you will find out about that, and you will know the difference. You know, if I come out and they're white as a fucking ghost, okay, I may have fucked up just now, you know, on that case, but yet the 100 of other people that are waiting in line for the same treatment are reliving memories that they cherish throughout their life. And there is a time it's no different than taking a happy drug that could kill somebody. You know, you still produce that drug, you still put them in those states, sometimes you help them get through, or say antidepressants or something like that, to try to help them get through the moments. Yes, they're going to have harsh impacts on other people who, after you see a reaction, this was a bad idea.
Read the warning on the label.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah.
Read the warning. No matter what, if you are messing with our consciousness with AI in any way and trying to fuck with us, there is a big fucking warning label. Because the brain that's possible couldn't even just handle it. I don't know who the ding 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 was for. Probably Gabe. And that with what he said.
It's for me.
Or it's for you. It's for Anthony. Anthony needs a
for
ding
being
ding
so
ding.
quiet.
Yeah, say something.
So what is
Please,
your
Anthony.
ultimate opinion on
Something.
that, Anthony?
Me?
Yeah.
I feel like you both have valid points, right? Because you do have to weigh the pros and cons in all of it.
And just for Anthony, there's your
Consult
ding,
your
ding,
doctor.
Well, because, you know, I see where Keith's coming from, and I agree in those circumstances when, you know, you have, you know, almost like a hospice care, right? And that's how it would be treated. So that they can relive their good moments and remember the good things and enjoy feeling like everything is the way it should be. But then you do have that chance of, if they are repressing things and there's shit that they don't want to remember coming out, it could go very bad. Just like with any drug. I mean, that's why people say they have good trips on mushrooms and you have bad trips on mushrooms.
That's what I'm saying. Like the majority
Right?
are
Like
going to
it's
have
a risk you take. And you got to outweigh the, you know, you got to take the good with the bad and figure out pros and cons, which one's worth it or not.
I would think that with a situation like this, even if I'm not present there, that the technology they're using is monitored as well as the person they're using it on. So they know the stress it could be causing or not causing on this person and know when to pull them out or pull them in, etc., when it's actually working. But we as human beings do this on a regular basis. When someone's comatose, we don't know if they're living a nightmare inside and we're waiting to pull the plug, or they're having the best time of their fucking life.
Sure.
We don't know that. We still keep them alive or pull the plug based on our self-interest and what we think.
Yeah. I mean,
so you're going to have to take the risk in that technology as well. I will tell you, my dad was going through that. I was just a big teddy bear he knew somewhere, my stepdad. Obviously, I don't have the best history with him, but what he saw in his end, in the end of his life, no, it was nothing negative about it. He just wanted happy thoughts. He wanted his big teddy bear to be there. You know, he didn't even know who my mom was at the time. He was living, and I can't give that back to him, but I can give him going out in peace, believing what he wants is real.
And in that moment, if that can be controlled and he could stay in that situation, then sure. But it's just with dementia, it's not always going to lead you down the yellow brick road.
And it absolutely wouldn't, but nothing does. No answer for even any of these questions he's asked, period. There is no absolute right answer.
Right, yeah. It's all hypothetical. So,
but yeah, well, everything he's asking, which is why these are great questions, they all have consequence no matter what.
Sure.
What you have to do is figure out how severe those consequences will be for the masses. Because everything has consequence no matter what decision you're going to make. Honestly, that's just the way I feel about it. But I would want them to be happy. And I would do anything to make them live that happiness.
For sure.
Maybe if you saw them pre-hand and you knew that this is a bad idea, you'd know it. If people are monitoring them, you know, hey, the stress levels are out of sight, this might not be the right treatment for them. You can't just assume automatically that there's going to be none of that, and you're not going to know when this stuff happens. He can add another thing in there to say that's not going to happen. Well, then that's a different conversation as well. To say nobody's monitoring, you don't know the slush levels will come out. So every aspect is going to make it a different question, a different theory. Either way,
everything is very circumstantial.
Yeah. And I, at the same time, Gabe, with your argument, my thing is you're saying, what if you're reliving that? Is that a good enough reason to deny others happiness in that moment? Just like you're saying the good ones could have the bad, is the bad reason to deny the majority happiness?
No, I wouldn't make it illegal across the board. I just wouldn't perhaps, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, again, it's hypothetical. So it's like, you have to diagnose the type of dementia. If it's more violent fits and things like that, or negative situations, then of course you're not going to want to use.
Well, you find somebody who's a violent person, you don't give them Adderall.
Well, you're not supposed to.
Right, but I mean, and if you do, you deal with the consequence. You're supposed to know these things prehand.
Yeah.
Everything has that caveat.
Sure.
Formal, I think, is now just sitting back watching us.
Yeah.
At this point.
Look at these fools.
Look at what I did. Look at what I did.
Fuck them up.
Fuck it.
Well, I appreciate that. He didn't actually answer, though, when I said, what would he do? I thought he did when he said, yup. But he said, no, he was referring to the drug, that it was a drug. My question is, if you're out there, he is still out there.
I think he said he's doing this for a project, though.
He is, but I wanted his opinion on that as well. I was curious what his opinion was, because, it's our show, too. He says, if you could remove yourself from an amount of time, how long? Not revealing when and what that you'd remove yourself. I wouldn't.
If I could remove myself from an amount of time, how
long would it be? Not saying when. So say now remove yourself or remove your memory are two different things. Say you were, let's go the extreme route of being raped, and that rape lasts 2 hours. And obviously, there's after effects of that. If you remove yourself, it never happened. So you could just say 2 hours would be that time frame, not revealing when, where, why. But I don't think I really. Oh, actually, no. Probably 15 minutes.
There's several moments that I could think with myself.
Minutes. But again, it depends on the real world answer on that. It doesn't have a real world consequence when you move. Are you actually moving yourself, or just the memory, the experience that no longer phases you?
Yeah.
So on that, unfortunately, we are getting on to the 2-hour mark. We're going to probably be closing the show up soon. What about you, Anthony, on that? Would you remove yourself from a period of time? And I'll just say it would be seeing my mother in a coffin.
Yeah.
I would remove that. So I was not there to see it, because that memory is in my head far more than every other memory, and it hurts and it kills me. She looked terrible. It wasn't her.
I had a cat named Easy, and Ezekiel Zachariah, that was his name.
Mm-hmm.
And he was old. We didn't declaw him, and he was getting real sick, and he died on the futon with his nails stuck in the top, just like this. So I'd like to get rid of that.
I can see that one. I can see that.
Because that
can
sucks.
You just take that little proportion away.
Yeah. Yep. It sucks.
I'm really saddened, but your imitation of the cat is very humorous.
Thank you.
At that point.
That's why I said it.
I get it. What about you, Anthony?
It's been enough time.
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Well, he's doing the answer now. He says, okay, my answer time. I'm in the process of building a dementia-based AI monitor, which builds a collection of data from photographs and video clips, which repurposes those into 3D models. I told you we are going to be on this show and not actually be here.
It is Morpheus.
It is. That's fascinating. Is this actually, is this like a college project or something that you just have been working on for a long time for your own personal success, hopefully?
I'm very intrigued.
Yeah.
I know. At the same time, I'm
It's a startup.
Okay.
It's a startup. Well,
I don't believe anything on the internet, so I'm You know what I mean? It's like this has been fun, but at the same time, I don't know.
No, I think that's really good. I think that is a cool thing to do, and we are your guinea pigs.
Curious, where are you from, Formal Foundation? If you don't mind answering,
where are you from?
I don't think you're from the States because I don't think we have paracetamol here. The first and only time I've ever heard of paracetamol was when I was in the UK. So I'd have to guess somewhere.
I was guessing Europe.
Or the UK.
I was guessing Europe. I don't know exactly where. He said guess. I guess Europe. He said UK. Take a guess.
Yeah.
Gabe.
Guess where they're from?
Yeah.
No fucking idea.
It's UK.
Oh, there you go.
Boom, bitches.
You know actually why he reminds me of Cole Orton.
Okay.
Cole Orton's he's always down here from the UK.
Like I said, for me, it was the paracetamol.
And the paracetamol, yeah. It was all like, I thought it was Europe. I didn't know exactly where.
I saw that. I was like, he's not from America.
Yeah, because Cole Orton's on here, and he reminded me. And apparently they like to think over there. We don't do that a lot in the U.S.
Yeah. Some of us do. We like to think.
Well, I got to tell you, Formal Foundation, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on this show. This was really an unexpected open forum we had, and I hope we get a lot more like this. Which is where I'm going. He says, I do have other topics I could drop which are unrelated. Please feel free. We'd love to have you on. We do our open forum every Sunday from 7 to, whenever. Usually they're about an hour. We'll go longer if we got something intriguing to talk about, like tonight.
Yeah.
Our topic shows are Wednesday, but you can feel free to pose questions related to those topics as well. So I'd love to have you back. This was actually really fun. I really think it was just me and you, or us three and you. So I mean,
Elena chimed in.
But a lot of people, Elena was here. We had people that were still watching and stuff and not really communicating because I think it got really deep, and I like that. So Formal, I want to really thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Anybody else out there, of course, while you're there, don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe to Ear Shoulder Voice on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and the one I forgot, Facebook. Get that? All right. You can call into the show anytime simply by going to earshouldervoice.com/join. You can also chat anytime by going to our Facebook page and messaging us through Messenger. Somebody will be glad to talk to you. Thank you for pointing at it. That's awesome, Gabe. Or you can go to our website, which we're slowly turning into a social media network designed for people with problems who like to help people with problems, so we can all communicate and not have to put it all in front of our friends. That's our ultimate goal on there. This has been our open forum show. Coming up on Wednesday is Playing the Part, Discriminating Against Portrayals. Once again, that is all about, a lot of Academy Award winning movies and actors have come out of playing roles that were not suited to them, whether it's a straight guy playing a gay guy, a guy playing a woman, anything like that, trans playing somebody else, or somebody else playing a trans, or anything like that. And it used to be like really revered that they were able to pull off the role. Well, nowadays they get a lot of backlash. And is that appropriate? Is that right? Is that wrong? Is acting still supposed to be acting, or are you supposed to be the actual person you're portraying, which, in my opinion, eliminates the acting aspect?
Sure.
So that's what we'll be talking about on Wednesday. Should be very interesting there. Other than that, I want you all to have a great night. Once again, thank you so much. The Playing the Part is this Wednesday, Formal Foundation. Yes, that is this Wednesday. And then our next open forum is actually not next Sunday because it's the 4th of July. We will be off from July 4th, and we'll be off that Wednesday, but we'll return the following Sunday. So Wednesday is our last show after 4th of July. Because we won't have an open forum 4th of July, because Wednesday is. For us in the U.S.
like to get drunk.
Yeah. So, yes, we like to get drunk. We get drunk on the show, too. But this Wednesday is the Playing the Part, Discriminating Against Portrayals. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Gabe.
Yes, sir.
And we will see you all later. So have a good night.
Good night.
Good night. I don't even have the outro. All right. So I forgot to even upload it. All right. So there's no Fuck
it.
Let's see the outro because I might be. This outro is from a previous ESV show. The dates expressed may not match the current date of which we recorded the episode. Right people.
Fuck it.
never mind. I guess I did upload. That's the right date. Hey guys, Keith Liffin here for Ear Shoulder Voice. While you're here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow so you can be notified of all our upcoming broadcasts that we'll be bringing to you live every week. Or head on over to our brand new social network and website, earshouldervoice.com, where you can be notified of all our show schedules, suggest new topics, join others like you in a judgment-free zone, or be a guest panelist yourself. That was definitely an unexpected show.
No, I enjoyed that.
Good.
I like that stuff.
That was really cool. I'm glad he popped up. Hope we get more like that, and I hope we get to see him again, for sure.
Yeah.
Formal Foundation. He might still be watching at this point. I don't know. Well, good job everybody for being a fuck it show. We actually had a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
I know for a fuck it show. It was actually
fuck it. We don't know what to say.
There's a lot of deep thoughts.
Yeah.
Deep.
Somebody sent us Formal Foundation. It was probably Lucas.
Lucas is probably drinking.
Oh, I was just about to try. That would look bad. Okay, so I'm going to put that bottle back and drink out of the cup. Okay.
You don't want to look like John that one night.
I know. I don't know what I was just thinking at that moment. Deep in thought. Yes, you got us deep in thought. Well, we really like that. Mm-hmm. It's about anything you want to talk about. That's the good thing about the open forums. It doesn't matter what it is. It's a chance for your voice to be heard or you to find out information. In his case, or her case, we really don't even know that, do we?
I know. It's quite sexist of you to assume genders here. It's 2021. Exactly. How dare you?
All I know is that their last name is Foundation.
I'm just saying. That's twice
formally it's Foundation.
Oh, I see.
So it's like Mr. or Mrs. Foundation.
I see. Formal is a surname.
I record shows. Yes, all our shows are recorded and able to stream live. You can go through all our shows on YouTube, Facebook, or those are the only two that archive them long term. Or on our website at earshouldervoice.com. You can view them as well. I think they're only kept for like 2 or 3 weeks on Twitch. And I don't know, Twitter I don't think is available after once it's streamed. I think Twitter's just once and done. And but yeah, you can catch all the shows we've ever done, including this one, on YouTube or Facebook. Just look at earshouldervoice.com. Or just earshouldervoice, not .com. Okay.
All right. I'm going to go.
You're going to go? I didn't even actually officially end the broadcast yet.
I know.
Let me at least pretend you're staying on to the very end here, okay?
I am. That's what I'm doing.
Like, you are, okay.
So I was just prompting you to end the show.
Mm-hmm.
That was way to go. That's fine. I'll just end it. I'll end it right now, coming up in just a moment.
Fuck it.
We're about to end it. Fuck it.